and quantity of human life, which leads to low level of living. Where the qualities and the quantity of resources, and both material and human resources, are, then there is bound for such nation to experience what we call underdevelopment. In other words, underdeveloped or developing nations refers to economies that have not reached a certain level of development and improvement due to some lack of some resources, both human and material. Then, what are the characteristics of underdeveloped or developing countries? 1. High dependence on agriculture with crude implements. That is, the agricultural practice in such countries are usually common with crude implements. They are not mechanized agriculture, they are not mechanized farming. 2. High dependence on foreign nations to sustain and to survive. That is, they depend more on foreign nations. That means they import more of the products from other countries. Then, low saving and investment. If their attitude to saving and investment is very poor, then those such countries referred to as underdeveloped. Also, we have population explosion, whereby their population rate is growing at a faster rate compared to the rate at which their production activities is growing. Such nation is referred to as underdeveloped. Also, we have low per capita income, whereby the national income that reach an individual in such country are very low. Is another factor that determines whether the country is underdeveloped or not. Then, low standard of living. Low per capita income will definitely directly lead to low capital standard of living in that particular country. Also, absence of medical facilities, whereby there are some medical facilities that are so absent, though they are very important, but they are not in place. In that place, we refer to as underdeveloped nation. Also, we have low rate of economic growth, whereby the rate of economic growth is very low. Then we have high debt rate of that particular country. Then inadequate infrastructural facilities is another one, it's another factor. We also have low level of industrialization. Then high level of illiteracy is another factor. Then high rate of importation, whereby they import more than exporting. That is another factor that really determines that a country is underdeveloped. And also we have high level of unemployment, where the unemployment rate is very high. Such country can be referred to as underdeveloped. And the last one, we talked about dual economy, that is sharp contrast and wide gap between the rich and the poor, whereby the rich and the poor, there is a kind of sharp and wide gap between the two groups. Then we refer to such economy as underdeveloped. What are the conditions necessary for rapid economic development? If you want an economy to develop at a rapid rate, what are the things that must be in place? 1, encouragement of saving, and also encouragement of investments. They are very, very important. Also, provision of capital for production is also very important. Then we have training of manpower. It must be encouraged. Also, we have promotion of industrialization, provision of infrastructural facilities that will make life easier for people in that country. Then technological development must be very okay in that country. Also, establishment of educational institutions. Educational institutions where learning can take place is another factor that can make an economy to grow very fast. Also, capable leadership. Leadership in politics and other form of leadership is very important. Then, export promotion, promoting exportation to other countries. That means encouraging local production for export purpose is another factor that can make an economy to grow very fast. Also, population control, controlling the population in relation to the level of available resources, so that the population will not be more than the available resources. That is another factor. Then, good development planning. The government of such particular country must have the good development planning, both economic planning and other form of planning, to make the economy grow very fast. They must foresee and plan ahead. Also, availability of organized markets. the market must not be hijacked by some individuals or the international bodies. The market must be well organized. Then we have diversification of the economy. The economy must not be the economy that rely solely on one product or the production of a particular product. They must diversify and venture into different areas so that if one area fails, the other will function and be able to upgrade the failed aspect. Then prudent financial resources management. There must be prudent management of the financial resources. It must not be wasted because it's very important. And lastly, political stability. The political structure of such economy that want to grow very fast must be stable so that it will not affect the country negatively. Now we also need to talk about another concept called economic planning. Economic planning may be defined as government-conscious formulation of economic policies for the allocation of resources to all sectors of the economy over a period of time. This brings about sustained growth in the economy. Therefore, economic planning is very, very important. And we have some reasons why the economic planning must be in good place, must be in place in a country. One, to increase the level of employment, there must be an economic planning, a well-planned policies. Two, to develop efficient technology. Also, to increase the real income of citizens. Like I explained, that the real income must be the one that the quality and quantity of goods and services a particular an individual can purchase with his or her income. Therefore, there must be increase in that, which will lead to a high level of living standard. Then, for equitable allocation of resources, that is another reason why economic planning is important. Then, for diversification of the economy, so that the economy will not rely solely on production of a particular product, they must diversify. Then, to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor, in order to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor, so that that factor will not be that country will not be labeled as an underdeveloped. It's very good to have economic planning that will target towards that. Then, to achieve economic self-sufficiency, that is, to achieve economic self-sufficiency in the sense that it will help the economy to produce some local products that will not allow them to go outside to look for such, because they are producing those products in the home country. Also, to ensure economic growth, so that the economic growth will be somehow high, then economic planning is very important. Also, to reduce foreign control of the economy, so that the country, other countries and international bodies will not be controlling the local market. Is very bad and not good for an economy. Then, to ensure joint business participation, so that the business activities will have some common ground for the purpose of developing the nation. And lastly, to reduce rural-urban migration. In so many countries, rural-urban migration is very high because there is low level of development in the rural area. The basic facilities, infrastructural facilities are absent. Therefore, everybody, especially the able-bodied men, move from rural area to urban center to look for better life. Therefore, it's very important in order to reduce this migration, because those able-bodied men, they are much needed in the urban center where their production activities can positively impact the nation. Those are the factors that are very good for any economy that wants to grow fast to really adopt. Then, what are the some of the economic plans, especially that we have? One, we have financial economic planning. This is by distributing national income to various sectors of the economy, planning how to distribute the financial resources. That is, this sector needs more than this. Therefore, let's focus more on this and give less to this, because at this particular period, one sector needs more than the other. Two, strategic planning. Strategic planning is directed to meet a certain objective of the economy. That is, maybe in the economy there is need for food security. maybe there is a high level of insecurity, at that period of time, the government of some particular country must plan to that strategic place, to that strategic sector of the economy, in order to improve the security level in that country, which can affect the economy positively. Also, comprehensive, or what we call aggregate economic planning, that is just to cover all aspects, is what we call aggregate economic planning, not really targeting a particular sector now, but all sector are the focus. Then we have partial economic planning. This one is planned to boost a particular economy, such as agricultural production, whereby to just boost the agricultural production, the government of that particular country, of a particular country, can plan, have economic planning to encourage such in the economy, so that the production activities in that sector will improve. And the last one is what we call controlled economic planning. It is also called authoritarian planning, that is common in socialist economic system, where government formulates and execute the plan. That is the government that will formulate it, and they will still be the one to execute those plans. That is what we call controlled economic planning. Now let's look at some of the problems that are associated with economic planning, especially in West Africa. One, political instability. Political instability is a very major problem, because one government may disagree with some previous economic planning of the previous government, and it will scatter the economy. This one is a big problem in West Africa countries. Two, inadequate capital. In most cases, the good planning must have been well laid down, well strategized, well planned on paper, but to carry it out financially, there may be inadequate capital. That one is also common in West Africa. Two, another one is misplacement of priorities. Misplacement of priorities, that is, they place more priority on some less important issues